which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everybody. Do I have the motion for the approval of the agenda?
I need to make an addition to the agenda. Under new business, we need to add the proclamation for Fire Prevention Week.
Okay, and with that, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The approval of the minutes for September 24th.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as writ for September 24th, regular meeting minutes.
Second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bills.
Okay, I went through the bills, everything looked good. We had total expenditures of $114,184.59. Total revenue, $121,533.07, leaving us in the black, $7,348.48. And with that, I make a motion we pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. George.
So soon.
Hi, George.
Good evening, everybody. For the record, the name's George Seguin, resident, town of Lingle. I'm here tonight because I had a few concerns. It's called weeds, feed, and trees. However, some of those concerns I think have been eliminated or addressed, not totally eliminated. Start with the speed. One of the question I was going to ask, our radar trailer has been down, but now I see we have 2 new ones up.
Three.
Sweet. Well, I see 2 of them. Well, that's awesome. And I know some people don't believe in the radar trailers, but where I live at, and the one that's parked over there, people come downhill, yeah, you're going to have the ones that are going to see how fast they can go through it. The majority of them slow down to this off. So I think they're a good thing, so won't have to dwell on that one anymore. Tree, or trees. I think Lindy can kind of help me out on this one. There was a tree board meeting last night. I do believe your town superintendent was there. And I believe a lot of the issues they have with the trees have been worked out with that. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Pretty much.
Maybe for those of you that don't know, our big issue right now is the trees at the cemetery.
Yes.
The majority of them are dead and dying.
Yep.
They have to be removed, and they have to be burned right away so the insects that are in them don't spread into other trees in the town.
Thank you, Lindy.
Yes, and I was up there today, and it's a pretty sad sight. And, you know, we can all sit there and say, well, what the cause was this, we don't know. Obviously, the town people are not trained archaeologists. You know, they don't go up there every day and pull out samples of the trees. But I do know this, the last 2 summers, as everybody knows, it's been pretty drought around here. You know, it's been dry. Our average rainfall for this town is way down. And if you don't water them, even though they're full grown, if you don't water them, they'll get weak, and then that henceforth bites bugs. I know you guys had a heck of a time up there last year trying to keep the cemetery going, but that just means sometimes we have to run the water 24 hours a day. Now, I'm not saying we did a better job of that, but that's how we used to water up there. We put them sprinklers out, they were set for 24 hours before we moved them. We also had a hose hooked up to one, and had a trench found along each of the trees. So maybe we'll start planting more, that some of you guys can think about doing. And it might help, because you gotta keep moisture up. You know, right now, here we go. You know, 70 today, 80s tomorrow. Should be running water on the trees, should be wanting water on the grass up there, water in the park still. But you gotta keep it moist to give it a good start before winter gets here. Because if you get a dry winter, that's not going to do it any good. So, not offering advice, I'm just telling you how we used to do it. I did come here to point fingers at anybody. I just, you know, I was kind of looking for some answers. And like I said, I already got some of the answers already. So, I guess what I do is try to figure out a plan to go forward. Obviously, new trees, Lindy, but have to be ordered.
eventually.
Yeah, the dead one's gotta come down, otherwise those bugs will spread. And I would suggest, pour the water to that place up there when you can, try to keep the animals alive. So that kind of moves on to my last point, which is weed. And in this case, it's not just a weed, it's several weeds. And I know it's been a tough year for the maintenance guys. First of all, we had that storm. I think they were pretty well up until the storm hit and that put it behind. We also had the problem with one of the maintenance guys taking care of the son, which by all means, I'm glad he did it. Everything's going good there and we hope it stays going good. So, but that set him back when you're short a helper and you got all this work to do. And once things kind of got back and he got back and everything, I kept seeing weeds everywhere I went. Now, we've been told, as a homeowner, hey, take care of your weeds, take care of your yards. Okay? I try to do that with my place, and I know a lot of people try to do that too. Have a little pride where you live at. But when the town can't take care of it, and they expect us to do it, that's sending the wrong message. So maybe we ought to start, regressing. You guys ought to think, say, come next spring, hey, we got to get some letters out to people who got overgrown weeds everywhere. We just have a discussion about that. What about the weeds in front of commercial property? Who owns the building? Sure, the state of Wyoming has right away, but who shovels the snow? You, the owner. The owner's also responsible to take care of the weeds. Weeds in the streets, the weeds in the alley, that's on the town. They didn't take care of it. And that brings me to another point with the weeds. I'm not sure that I have talked with Logan, and you guys are not using a spray service anymore, is that correct? Correct. So what are you going to do going forward to keep the weeds down in the park and the cemetery? I go walk through the park now, there are weeds everywhere. I mean, they're spreading. They're going to get worse. And something can't be done to stop them. And I'm all for this little bit, okay, a little bit green, try to use less chemical stuff. What do you want? You want big weeds all through the park? You want to have nice grassy area people enjoy. It's a balancing act, I get it. And right now, if you go up there and look at the park, it looks like they mowed recently. I'm not sure when. We'll look by the follow crops. Nothing's been trimmed. You got weeds growing up. It just doesn't look right. One of the things we did when I was sitting in you guys' shoes, that's one thing we prided on this town, especially when it come around to May. What did this town really have to offer? You got to think, what's to offer? We have a park and a cemetery, and a swimming pool. Get the town cleaned up. That was the most compliments I ever got in my tenure as being mayor, is people stop by, man, you guys got a real nice park. The cemetery looks great. They don't anymore. So I think guys need to think about, in the future, how are we going to get it back? Where are we going to go here? The swimming pool, I get it. I had my issues with that pool too. That's just a fight. Always has been since the day in '69 when they stuck a shovel in the ground. It's a losing proposition, yes, it always will be. That's a municipal swimming pool. So I know you're going to fight that. But keeping the park up, keeping the cemetery up, keeping weeds off our streets and the alleys, what the town's supposed to take care of. That's on you guys. So if you want us to do our part as a homeowner, which I try to do, you guys got to step up the plate a little bit. We're not going to point fingers at them because I know what they go through. I've sat there too long. But you got to have a plan of attack going here in the future, folks. I hate to see another summer where first thing you come into town is we let stop sign that high. So that's what I got to say. If there's any questions, feel free to talk to me. And I know the only other bit of advice I would say this is not trying to figure out something brand new, but maybe we've had two really good town superintendents in the past. I ain't talking about the very last one, two before. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to approach them and say, hey, we've got some issues, how did you guys deal with this? 'Cause I know the cemetery was one of them, Pride and Joy. They worked hard to keep these parks clean. We spent a lot of time, we spent some money to get them the way they were. And that's why I was a little upset when I found out, hey, we're not using the service anymore. Well, it didn't take long for them to come back, and it took us 2-3 years to run most of the weeds out. So now you guys are getting back to ground zero again. So that's all I'm asking, just something, an answer for the future. I don't want to point fingers, I just want an answer for what's going to happen in the future.
I do remember Larry saying they quit spraying the alleys because they got in more trouble for killing people's flowers, running up and down the alleys.
Correct.
Then they did better, and so that went away a while ago. I do remember that.
Yeah.
We did talk about that, but I also got this there here too. The alley is the town's responsibility to take care of, right?
I understand, I'm
Okay.
just talking.
And people do plant flowers in the back. Heck, even I got some, But when it comes to controlling something like that, your flowers take a second place. If they can't take care of it, the homeowner can't go out in the alley and take care of it. It's the town's responsibility. And there's something I was always going to hit up on that in the alleys and stuff. I do believe the grader has been sold, correct?
Yes,
And our front end loader up there from the dump's been sold.
yes.
So how are we going to grade the alleys? And potholes and stuff. Is the equipment you got it capable of doing that?
Would you like me to answer, Mr. Mayor?
Sure, please.
Yeah, the equipment we have is capable of doing that. And that's, we've redone the alleys, especially in the North Hills area, probably 4 times this year. And I know that 2 of them are bad again. So we are gonna have to address that, but we do have equipment capable of taking care of that.
Well, I would ask a favor, and have the alley go by the football field, and chest out how tight your truck or vehicle is, drive down that. So that could definitely use a great job. So that's just a my request. And the other thing I have on the equipment is trying to think forward here, if we get any snow, which is probably not, but does the equipment we have going to be able to move the snow off the streets?
Yes.
Because that's good to hear. Well, it does, because I remember the last big snow we had, a council member who occupies that chair over there, her husband had the 6-by out, and the fire department pulled people off the streets. Just can't get down. But once the town took care of this here, and over by the school, which is the priorities, you take that grader and you come down the streets.
And then everybody complained because there was those,
Yep, we pile them up in the middle, and you pile them up the side, you can't get your driveway. So you gotta make a stand on that, and that's what we decided. We had a deal, and we said, it starts snowing over 10 inches accumulation in the flat on the streets, 10 to 12, then we'll grade the streets. Anything less than that, it's not worth grading. Or plow, I should say. But, so anyway, let's just think about for the future. And one more equipment question, and I'll ask it to the council, but as Logan's going to have to answer it. The 2 new mowers, do they have baggers?
One does and one does not. One is equipped for mulching and one is equipped for bagging.
Because I was leading to the weed thing again, because if you don't have bags and you go cut grass, you just spread the weed seeds right out. So, okay. Well, outside of that, that's all I got to say. Thanks for your time. Thanks for what you guys do. Thanks for what you guys do. Appreciate it.
Thanks, George.
thank you.
Andrea?
So we made it through homecoming week. Let's see, I did a bunch of traffic, I had juvenile court twice. Tabitha will be doing supervising community service sometime in the next couple of weeks.
17th.
Yes, she knows when she's doing it. And one dog. It's been a great couple of weeks. The car was in the shop, and I just got it back. It had to have a coil pack replaced. I got my new body cam in, and we have 3 brand new speed trailers.
Sweet. Anything? We're good. Anna?
So Rich and I were notified that they're going to have a meeting on October 15th for the impact assistance application that the county's helping the smaller communities, fire departments, rural fire departments, all put together so that we have a unified front. It allows them to have access to more funding if we all present together. I have a conflict that day. Rich is planning to attend. But we emailed Hannah Fulmer today to get exactly what information we need to put together for Lingle so that we can have it put together before the 15th so she can review it and then give us some feedback.
Is that regarding the?
Chug water project.
Very good, thank you.
Is that definitely a go?
So that's a great question. I mean, here's the situation. 3 years ago, there was a similar project at Yoder. They went through the whole impact citing process. Yoder and Torrington got approval for their requests, and then the project has fallen through. It has not moved forward. So just because we go through this whole process does not mean the project is a go. And even if the project moves forward, even if we ask for money, we have to spend the money first and then get paid in arrears.
It's reimbursement. Thank you.
And that's kind of a approving mechanism and kind of a backwards way of auditing, making sure that we're legit on what our requests are.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
And we won't get any money until they hit the ground in Wyoming, right, from the sales tax?
Right, and you won't get any money probably
Till
for 3
after.
months after. Like, we'll have to spend the money, we'll have to submit it and show that we spent money above our normal budget in order to get reimbursed.
Anything else for Anna? Thank you. Logan?
Yes, sir. So we spent a lot of time up at the cemetery. We've had a couple burials, and the arborist report, I meant to email that to you guys. I will get that done. But the primary finding was a fungus in the blue spruce called Rhizospira needlecast, fungal disease, and then the red turpentine beetle. So we're working with DEQ right now to get the burn pile at the landfill burnt. I think we're almost finalized on that, and then as soon as we have that, we will begin cutting the trees down at the cemetery and working on rehabilitating that. And then we got the 3 speed trailers, put those together, got those set out right now, so we'll be keeping an eye on those. And then so we had a meeting last night with the tree corridor. We discussed the trees at the cemetery, and we also discussed looking into putting a sprinkler system out there and inquiring as to the cost of what that would be to put an underground sprinkler system in there, and then also provide an alternate way to water the trees, because we've used the trench and the hose like George was saying, and this year we just kind of had a whole storm, so it was a little more challenging, but we're trying to just look at alternative ways that we can take care of that up there and get it back to where it needs to be. So we are working on that. You have it down in new business, but the landfill building, Craig McComey with Wyoming DEQ had me go and obtain bids, and then he informed me that the process was not followed, so this is our 3rd round of attempting to get bids and do it correctly based off of the guidance of DEQ. And we are going to ask that you guys allow us to publish a request for proposal for a steel building at the transfer station, and that would primarily be used, it's just gonna be an empty shell building that we can store garbage bins, recycling bins, things like that in there, and then TDS or whoever we were to contract with could drive through, pick the stuff up and take it. And I think there's like roughly $200,000 budgeted in the total budget for this project. The state said we had like 170,000, I think it was 176,000. The bids came in all over the place. They were way higher than I expected. So the state engineer is supposed to be sending us some specs as to what we should consider for this. And then we're hoping to get that request for proposal submitted so that we can see what prices that brings. But the cheapest one, well, the least most inexpensive one was, I think, like 104,000, and then the highest one we got was 260-some thousand. So, like I say, there's a pretty good spread. They're all over the place. But if it's not feasible, then I'm just gonna ask that we not move forward with it. But if it's something that we can do, we do have a 90-10 grant with that, so now would be a great time to use that. Because I believe, is that ARPA funds?
ARPA funds.
Yeah, and so that is ARPA funds, so the state wants to spend it. So I will keep you guys apprised of that, and then, like I say, just during new business, I ask that you approve that request. And then, do you guys have any questions?
Logan and Rich, those funds, their deadline is December of '26, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
And they really want to get those
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah.
And then the other question I had was about the trees.
Okay.
Do we have any danger or protocol that we have to do once the tree is cut?
So I asked.
I mean-
No, sorry.
I don't know anything about the trees, Lindy, but do the bugs come, I would assume the bugs that are in the tree, do we have to worry about them on the ground and all that? I mean, so there's a whole protocol.
Spreading to other trees, other stressed trees in town, so that's why they need to be burned.
Right, but I mean, transporting them from the cemetery to burn
Yeah.
is my question. Is there a certain protocol that we're gonna have, that's gonna cause an expense extra?
So there could be a minor expense, yes. I asked Joseph Booth, the arborist that we had consulted, and he said all I would need to do is wrap it in plastic
Okay,
and then take it up, and he goes, as soon as it's in the landfill, burn it, and we won't have to worry about it.
okay,
Because he said that's the most surefire way to kill the bugs.
Okay.
So
Are they in the roots? I mean, are you gonna have to go all the way down to the roots?
that's, yeah, our intention is to take the roots and everything else. But their primary habitat is not in the roots.
Perfect.
okay.
Any other questions?
Chip sealing, did they cover the manholes before they chip sealed?
Yes, but I did find, I think, 2 that we're gonna have to undo.
Okay, I was
Which
wondering about that.
We can do that, yeah. It's happened before,
It has. I'm just asking.
but yeah, there were a couple.
I was a
I've
little
noticed
shocked
over
when I
there.
pulled into my street that day and went, ooh, they didn't get them to go over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll take care of those.
Thank you.
Yes, Logan. Fire department.
So today, we did the fire safety day at the elementary school, and we have our haunted house coming up. We're gonna be doing that. Do you have the dates?
24th, 25th of October, and the 30th, 31st, and the 1st of November.
So we'll have those towards the end of the month coming up, and then I believe we had, what was it, 13 ambulance and 4 fire?
5 fires, 13 ambulance.
5 fires, 13 ambulance,
It was a busy month,
yeah.
and
We
this
all-
one's not shaping up to be any better.
No. And then we also helped out with the Dogger homecoming events too, so we were there for the entirety of that.
Kind of.
Well, I was
You were.
representing. I got you. Is there anything else, fire department?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. We are seeking grants for a Zoll monitor. We're working through that process right now. I'm working with the Zoll representative to get a quote. I didn't realize it's about like buying a vehicle. There's more options than you would imagine on one of those things. So we're working through that process. And then all of our state Homeland Security program grants have been submitted, and we're waiting to hear back on that. There's been a lot of things going on with that, so we're waiting right now to see what happens, because the federal government shut down, and then also they changed some of the parameters of the grants, so we're waiting to see how that all aligns before we move forward. But that has been submitted, so I should hear relatively soon, I hope, on that. And for those of you that don't know, those speed trailers were obtained with a grant through the Progress Program through Goshen Economic Development. And that was, I think, was that 100% covered? Or did, because we paid just a little bit,
No, the speed trailers
wasn't it?
cost $22,600 and some odd dollars.
And we got the grant for $20,000.
Correct.
Yeah, so there was a little bit as we went over, but it wasn't within our budget, so. I think that's everything.
My comment is, I really like the pictures where it shows the kids getting involved with firefighting on the, it was good to see kids involved again and sparking that interest to rebuild the fire department.
Yeah, they were the start of the show for sure.
It was so
great.
nice, like, we just let them do it all.
Yeah,
We
pretty
just
much
kind of
stood
sat back and safety
guided.
supervised.
It was cool to see kids in it again.
It's been a long time,
Long.
well, since our kids
Yep.
left.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rich?
Thank you, Lovey.
Good evening, everyone. I got a report back from the Wyoming Department of Audit that we are compliant with our fiscal year 25, our census requirements, which is the F-66 and our self-audit, so everything is good there.
Perfect.
October 13th is Columbus Day. The facility, the town facilities will be closed that day, just so that you know. I don't have anything else unless you have questions for me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
New business, we have Fire Prevention Week 2025. Have a motion for that, October 5th through the 11th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So therefore, I, Micah Foster, Mayor of the Town of Lingle, do hereby proclaim October 5th through the 11th, 2025 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the Town of Lingle.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Can, what kind of things are are planned for that? Like, is it just advertised, or is it mainly stuff in the school, or what?
So we did, the Fire Safety Day today was kind of the big part of what we do with that. We're trying next year to get more involved with the school, and we tried this year, but the school wasn't interested. So hopefully next year we can talk them into it and have more of a thorough class on it with the students. But outside of that, I've been posting on our Facebook page for the department different tips and guidance on using lithium-ion batteries, because that's the focus this year. Is the being careful with e-devices, and especially those that are rechargeable. So, but we could always look at doing more. It's been kind of one of those that's just what we do.
Yeah.
But we'd be open to suggestions.
Is it Torrington, or who is it that when we used to have Safe Kids Day, there was a house, like a firehouse that, and it was like a house, like a tiny house
It
on
was
a...
Safe Kids Day, and it was done at the fairgrounds.
I know, but I mean, I can't remember, I think it was Torrington Fire Department, maybe someone else that had a miniature house on a trailer, and they had the kids go through the house as a safety kind of thing. So we might look into seeing who has that, and that might be something that the school is more attracted to.
So the state fire marshal's office has that.
Oh, okay.
And we tried last year, and I think the year before even, to get that. and we never got it. So,
I don't know that they have necessarily that. They have a burn building now, just showing how fast everything ignites now and how little time you actually have to get out of a building.
well, and I know, because Casey called somebody, I know for sure last year,
Yeah,
but
they travel around the state, but I know that they do their national night out and they have it there in
Okay.
Torrington. So,
Okay.
And they just had a Safe Kids event
Mhm.
several Saturdays ago. That was, I think, sponsored by Bill Goshen.
And I think, well, I think
It might
Safe
have
Kids
been.
merged with National Night Out.
yeah.
Because realtors used to do Safe Kids, and
Oh, okay.
it's like everything else, there's 5 people
Yep.
doing it, and so you just don't have the support to, so, cool. I just was curious.
okay.
If you come up with any ideas,
I will
We're
rack
open.
my brain to try and figure some stuff out.
we can maybe like hand out smoke detectors and whatnot like they do in, is it Domino's? If your smoke
Oh.
detector doesn't work and they give you a new one
Yeah,
with your delivery.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. They haven't done it for a couple of years.
All right, the next order of business is the approval for the request for proposal for a steel building at the transfer station.
I make a motion that we put out a request for proposal for the steel building for the transfer station with the state specs attached to it for clarification.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Shelley, cancel items.
I had something, but it didn't stick, so. So nothing at this time.
Okay.
Jeff?
I have nothing, thank you.
I have nothing, sir.
So I have something. So I went through the self-audit last week with Rich, and we completed that, and everything looked good. That's all I have.
Perfect.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.